Live from New York, it's a show that's wishing you a very happy new year. And Nick has a special message.
Well, I just would like to, if I may for a moment, congratulate my father, Louis Wright, today, after more than 53 years, either as an active duty firefighter or directly involved in the Kansas City Fire Department. Is his last day. He's retiring today.
Wow.
Started May 1st, 1972.
Wow.
And now today is his last day working. And I'm saying that publicly because he has promised today is his last day working, but now there's a little extra pressure to actually retire. Congrats, Dad. Lifetime award.
That is
well
awesome.
done.
We start with the Ravens
Friday.
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yep. Win and you're in, or lose and go home. Glass half empty. And maybe retire, maybe lose your coaching job. Okay, Brou, can the Ravens convince you that they can make a run?
Wilds.
Oh, gee whiz.
All right. What was I wearing on Monday?
A full robe with little patches of sandwiches and soda pop.
Yes.
And Jordans.
And Jordans, purple
Yes.
Jordans. And sunglasses. I don't know.
I do
sunglasses.
not put on the robe frivolously
That's true.
or haphazardly. I don't get all willy-nilly with the robe.
I know that's true.
When you see me in the robe, and this was the first time since they beat Cleveland in week 2, that I donned the robe. When you see me in that, it means I believe. All right? And I don't just believe about them beating the Steelers. Nick, I do believe they have a run in them.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, do they have a run in them? If I see Lamar Jackson out there, because I think they can win with Tyler Huntley against the Steelers, but can't make a run in the playoffs. If I see Lamar Jackson out there playing at 85%, then watch out. And Lamar, and look, maybe the back makes this irrelevant, but there were signs that he was coming around. Look at the weeks 10 to 14 is the 5-game stretch where he was terrible. The last 2 weeks, so I mean, look, he didn't throw it a lot. He got hurt against the Patriots.
It's 22
so that's just
passes,
the first,
right?
But he was like 17 or something like that, 15 for 22.
Yeah.
I mean, you see completion
That's right.
percentage, the passer rating's hot, TD to interceptions, 2-1. But those stats are
really good.
kind of like
those
vintage
are
Lamar,
great.
except for the TD.
Those are great numbers.
So maybe he was breaking out of whatever slumber he was in.
Okay.
All right. Either way, Derrick Henry is playing the best football he's played all year. I mean, he's been good. He was great in the first week against Buffalo. Yeah. But the defense, too.
The defense?
Look at these defensive numbers. And this is 11 weeks. The last 11 games, I mean, top 6 in everything.
You called this.
First or second best. That's
you don't get
their
enough credit
culture.
for this.
That's their culture. That's what they do. I give John Harbaugh credit for that. So I got a strong defense. I got one of the best running backs in the league playing really well, and potentially one of the best quarterbacks in the league coming back. And here's the thing, Nick. They were beating the 13 or 14 win Patriots by 11 points with 9 minutes left.
And then what happened?
And then they fell apart. But my point is, they didn't even have their starting quarterback. Despite Lamar only playing the first half and none of the second half, they were up 11 with 9 minutes left.
But it's that defense that you're trying to tell me is great that fell apart.
Yeah, we got a short field. We got a fumble.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
One full long field.
With the fumble.
And then after, because the Ravens scored, kicked off, long field touchdown, Zay fumble touchdown.
Right. But think about it. Pushing around the Bills or the Patriots, pushed around the Bills in week 1 when the defense, for 55 minutes, when the defense was terrible for the Ravens. All right. Beat the Packers and the Bears, 2 legitimate playoff teams with their backup quarterback. And, I mean, so I'm saying if they start to get back to full strength, mainly with Lamar Jackson, I think they can make a run. That's all I'm saying. I think they got a shot to definitely make a run in the AFC.
So I'm glad you mentioned the Packers and the Bears wins because those are the only 2 good wins of the year.
That's 2 good ones,
It is 2 good ones.
Those are
and
2
it
really
goes
good ones.
right in line with excellent losses to all the good teams they have faced other than that. New England, Pittsburgh, the Rams, annihilated by Houston, blew it against Buffalo, and then lost to teams we thought were going to be good but weren't in Detroit and Kansas City, split with Cincinnati, a team that ended up, both games, by the way, with Joe Burrow, beat them once and lost to them once. Their wins, other than the Chicago and Green Bay win with their backup quarterback.
You don't think that Cincinnati win was a good one? With Burrow shut out?
No, so that's a good win, but then they also lost to him. I
chalk that up to like Burrow having a existential crisis.
They
was
made
weird.
him. They made him.
I think he had one going into the game, but regardless, their other wins are twice against Cleveland. They beat the Jets. They beat Minnesota. They beat
Jets
Miami.
Win was good.
And they are if they beat Pittsburgh, which I am not ready to say they will. But if they do, they are playing in round one, Buffalo or Houston. Buffalo, who with healthy, excellent, coming off an MVP caliber season Lamar, they beat them. They beat the Ravens. And Houston, who annihilated them.
Without Lamar.
But 44 points after the toys had been tossed. And it's weird. That
was before the defense started playing.
Right, but it was after they had gotten rid of the toys, but the defense hadn't started playing well. But we can't, it's weird to me if we're going to say, we're going to throw out the Houston loss because Lamar wasn't there, but we're hanging our hat on the Green Bay and Chicago wins when Lamar was injured. Like that to me is, and the Green Bay game was, by the way, that defense that we're talking about let Malik Willis go 18 of 21 for 288 yards, and it was a game until he got hurt. And it was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. He got hurt. I forget, Sean Clifford came in through and picked games over. And so or Clayton Tune, I don't even know who their third string is. I think it's Clayton Tune.
It's Tune.
Used to be Sean Clifford. My apologies. I just don't think that a team, they have the same record as the Vikings, the Panthers, who we're all saying is the one NFC, the NFC South and the AFC North to me are the same. They are the two divisions that are going to get a team in the playoffs that are in a win-and-you're-in game between a 9-win team and an 8-win team, and they're drawing dead to go on a big run.
Here's the thing. I agree with you. If you're, because you talked about games this season. If we see the Ravens that we saw
all year
early on, then and Lamar that we saw for a good stretch, 5 weeks, then sure, they're not making a run. I am going, just like I would do with the Chiefs, I am banking on their history. I'm banking on their ability. They've had a horrible year, but now they have life, and I'm saying if they can play better.
Real quick, because if people are wondering, and you just alluded to it, would I feel this way if the Chiefs were in this position and the Chiefs had some terrible year but might sneak in? And the answer is absolutely not. No. I wouldn't.
You would be feeling like
I would be feeling like Brou is feeling. I am saying that. But when you say just like the Chiefs' entire history has been they play better in the playoffs. We are asking a Ravens team who with Harbaugh and Lamar every year have gotten worse in the playoffs.
They can't get worse this year.
Well, I mean
seriously, they can't get worse this year.
But we would need them to.
And they've beaten that Houston team a few times.
Last year, and we have never seen the Ravens with Lamar and Harbaugh get better in the playoffs, ever.
Can I pitch you on an idea to support one of Bruce's theories? The idea that it was easy street going into the playoffs and this adversity might be the switch that they need. So this is all of Lamar's playoff appearances, their point differential going into the playoffs. They were sixth, first 3 times, tied for third. It has never resulted in a Super Bowl. This year, they're 16th. The idea being, the theory being, that this is, all year long, we didn't peak too early. We're peaking just at the right time. We've won, 2 must-win games to get into the playoffs, and now we're going to be a rocket ship as we face a Bills team that can't stop the run. We're going to feed it to Derrick Henry, a Texans team that we have beaten in the playoffs before, and Lamar's getting healthier, and all of a sudden, get rid of the self-inflicted
We're 10 days
mistakes.
removed
I like what you're
from
saying,
them blowing a double-digit fourth-quarter lead in what we thought was a must-win game.
I agree.
Against one of the best teams in the league.
The only reason, this is where I think you guys are, I love the optimism, and I think it's good for the show. It's way better for the show if the Ravens make it and the Steelers make it. But the Ravens played in a must-win game against a playoff-caliber team, blew the game. And because of that, they no longer controlled anything. Their season, we thought, was over because we thought the Steelers were going to beat the Browns. The Steelers play their worst game of the year and lose to the Browns, and now we're trying to convince ourselves that the fact that the Ravens in the past have been regular season juggernauts, and this year they are the definition of mid. You said 16th point differential, 8-8 for the season, and their quarterback is banged up. That is going to be a recipe for them to go on their best playoff
Peaking
run.
at the right time.
It hardens you. Calluses.
I like that.
There has been. And look, I am not sitting here saying I'm guaranteeing they're going to win the AFC. I'm saying with this field, why not? Why can't they? They arguably have the best quarterback. When he's at his best, they arguably have the best quarterback in the conference.
Well, well, two-time MVP, one-time MVP.
Yeah, arguably have the best quarterback in the
When he says one-time
no,
MVP,
I thought he was talking about Drake.
Josh Allen.
No, I know. And Josh Allen, throw him, all of them. Arguably the best quarterback in the conference, arguably the best running back in the playoffs in the AFC, and the defense is playing really well.
Would you go ahead, KW?
No, that's it. I was saying.
I mean, Houston's defense is
Would
better.
you agree with me that they are more likely to lose Sunday than to win a playoff game?
No, I wouldn't. I would agree with you. They're more likely to lose Sunday than to make the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. I mean that.
But although I'm saying they got a chance to make the Super Bowl, but no, I wouldn't agree with that.
I think they're scary. I am taking a little bit of the Chiefs.
They're the opposite of the Chiefs. The Chiefs
it's just a great quarterback and a team that has just been excellent for a few years versus the Jags. Like, as much as I think a fair criticism, like, I don't know what the Patriots are going to look like.
No,
I want to be confident, but I actually haven't seen it.
The Ravens are playoff proven.
You know what we're big on this side of the table?
They haven't been able to beat the Chiefs.
They've lost to the Chiefs.
They lost to the Bills. I mean, those are good teams that they lost to. They beaten up on Houston. Last year, they flattened Houston.
Lamar has
Houston, they
three
gave the
career
Chiefs
playoff
problems.
wins. 2 came against Houston, right? It's the last 2 years they beat Houston.
Yeah.
Do I have that right? And
So now I'm supposed to believe they can't beat that Houston team?
I am stunned that the analysis is that this team used to be awesome in the regular season and fall flat in the playoffs. Now they are having the worst and most injury-riddled regular season they've had, and that is the recipe to them being excellent in the playoffs. I just don't.
I'm not saying that's the recipe. I'm saying maybe that could work out for him.
And I'm wrong. He doesn't have 2 playoff wins against Houston because the Chiefs beat Houston last year. He beat the Steelers in the playoffs. He beat Houston 2 years ago in the playoffs and beat the Steelers. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers, coming off one of the worst games of the season in a loss to the Browns, now he's looking at what might be his final game in the NFL. Okay, if Rodgers loses this, do you think he should retire?
Yes. It's just time. He won't go out as a champion. He won't even go out as a playoff quarterback. But he did not tarnish his legacy, right? He didn't have the first losing season of Mike Tomlin's career. His numbers are
fine.
Okay, right. 95 passer rating, I think 23-7 touchdown interception, something like that. And now this is for the moment. Historically, people won't remember this stuff. But for the moment, you can look at it and say, DK Metcalf, he was the reason. You can look at it and say, TJ Watt got injured, in a wild accident. Right? You can look at it and say, some of the other injuries and things like that. So I think, though, here's the deal. And, where would he go next year? He could stay in Pittsburgh. I guess Minnesota. I guess Indianapolis would be possibilities. He's not leading those teams anywhere. Aaron Rodgers fell short with 2 excellent Green Bay teams when he was the MVP. Back-to-back MVPs. When he was at the height of his career and the team was really good, he still fell short in the playoffs. So I'm supposed to believe at 42 or 43, he's going to lead some other team to playoff glory? No, it's not. He's had a great career.
Great.
Fortunately, he got that Super Bowl years ago, so that monkey's off his back. It's just time for him to retire because now if he keeps playing mediocre football, he's just – some people are only seeing this Aaron Rodgers, and some people are, forgetting – like Dwight Howard. Not that Dwight was equivalent of Aaron Rodgers, but remember, people forget how good Dwight Howard was because they saw so much more.
Spot on the top 75 list if he had just retired after Orlando. So listen, I agree with you, Brou. I also think this, and you'll love this, KW. The long tail of the 3-game Phillip Rivers comeback will be felt across shows like this for a decade.
Oh, wow.
And the beginning of that tail will be if he retires next year, whichever contender-ish team suffers a quarterback injury, it will just be assumed, well, obviously, Aaron Rodgers can come off the couch and come play for you. And you know what I mean? And step in there. And those of us that tend to think that's insane are going to be like, people are going to also recreate how good Phillip Rivers' 0-3 stretch was with the Colts and be like, no, Phillip Rivers looked good, guys.
He could play a little bit.
And so I think Aaron Rodgers will stay in the October, November, December American sports media football news cycle for the next few years. Like, it's not just next year.
Before Phillip Rivers, there was headlines before they signed Phillip Rivers. Did Andrew Luck get a call?
Yeah.
It's never going away.
And he's been gone. Luck's, I think, been gone since 2019 or 2018.
He's still in his 30s.
Right. Yeah. He's in.
Could he
so
be next?
and so, but I also, if he plays, I'm scarred by what happened against Cleveland. Like, it just seemed like a quarterback that was done. If they win, then I think and they make the playoffs, and then you see they have a home playoff game, it reopens. But if they go back-to-back winning your into the postseason games, and you lose to Cleveland, then you lose to Baltimore, with dealing with their own injury at quarterback, then I think it's time. And if it is, I think it's worth throwing this on the screen because he does have a claim that he is one of the 3 greatest regular season quarterbacks in the history of the sport. And his career numbers, listen, he's got the 4th most passing touchdowns, the 5th most yards, the highest passer rating. Mahomes had it briefly, but then he dropped. Lamar had it briefly, then he dropped. Aaron, so Aaron back atop that. And only Peyton Manning has more first-team All-Pros. We did Super Bowl era
MVPs,
because,
right?
and MVPs. But they were saying first-team All-Pro, Sid Luckman, Otto Graham, and Johnny Unitas had more. But it was of the Super Bowl era, it's him and Peyton, which is what makes, Brou, the playoff stuff with him so weird. Started 4-1 in the playoffs with a Super Bowl, was 6-10 in the postseason after that, with some grisly results, or 6-9, I should say, in the postseason after that, because right now he's 11-10 for his career in the playoffs. But as far as on a throw-to-throw, game-to-game, regular season basis, you can put his career up against anybody ever. And the
regular season.
And so it's very odd for a player that great to play that long and only make 1 Super Bowl, but that's what it seems like his ultimate destiny is going to be. Even if they win Sunday, nobody thinks they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Can I give you an alternate history if he wins on Sunday, an alternate recent history? If he beats the Ravens, he will have gone 4-1 to have a drive towards the playoffs and fend off the Ravens and the Steelers. No one believed in the Steelers, and they've done it. He was weeks 14 through 16. He was
playing his best ball.
He was unbelievable. 3-0. His passer yards per game at 260. His passer rating was at 106.
Yeah.
And that was after he had that terrible game where he called out his teammates for being late to meetings.
Yeah.
He
and
had
with a broken wrist.
And a broken, So this week 17 game, you can say, he looks washed. Man, a lot of quarterbacks don't look good against Myles Garrett, especially if you're trying to avoid sacks with sort of the purposeful nature that he was. So I think he needs to win this game, and it puts a whole different flavor on this year.
Oh, if they win it, absolutely. If they win it, Brou, I think this was successful. I know that the only way for this to really be stamped as definitively successful is breaking the streak of not winning a playoff game. Right. So he needs to, win 2 more. Yeah. And that obviously would be unbelievable if they beat Buffalo or they beat Houston in round 1 of the playoffs. And
Houston.
I know Houston scares you more than Buffalo. Because you're looking at it through Houston attacking him. Yeah. I just don't think if Pittsburgh could keep up with Buffalo's offense. But regardless, that's the only thing that would make it definitively this was a great final chapter.
Yep.
But to your point, this isn't an embarrassing final chapter. No. And Favre, what's tough for Rodgers is Favre did get one awesome post-Green Bay season.
Yeah.
Favre's first year with the Vikings, he came in second in league MVP voting. They made the conference championship game, and then he threw the ball away at the very end of that game, and they lost. The next year with the Vikings, he was done, and it was over for him. But he got one more,
moment too.
And
I don't know if I've had a Rodgers moment this year. You know what I mean?
The only Rodgers moment.
That little run that you highlighted.
That's not. I'm not going to remember that forever.
But that was DK Metcalf too.
Yes.
And that's where the problem is. If DK was playing, this weekend, it might be a whole different story.
The only Rodgers moment post Green Bay is him running out with the flag about 20 minutes before he tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only, at least
the Robert Saleh non-hug.
Yeah, I mean, the only positive,
didn't he have his 500th touchdown?
No, yes, I mean, but as far as I can see it, I can't see, you can't immediately visualize any other positive Rodgers moments, not in a Packers uniform, other than that moment his first game with the Jets. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.